Firstly, hello. Secondly, I'd like to say, well, I kind of blame myself a little bit because I spent so much time researching the item I wanted to buy. I lost sight of the item. Firstly, I found what I wanted, which was the 50,000 milliamp battery bank, and the shipping container one. And then, yes, I was happy with that. I moved on to finding the best seller with the best reputation at the best price, and that I did find a very good reputation. So I will not be naming who I bought this from unless things go sour and they refuse to give me back my money. Then, well, I may need to put their store name down below, because really, if what I think has happened, then it's not right and I should get my money back. I spent $80 on this item. Yes, it's a reasonable price, but it's still $80. Now, what I was looking to initially buy was, yes, the shipping container power bank, 50,000 milliamps, which is what this seems to be. Now, the one that I was looking at, which I thought was the only one, was the shipping container. It comes in its own shipping container box, not a box. So as soon as I initially got this, I was disappointed because red flags, why has it got a box and where's its own little packaging of a shipping container within the shipping container. And then, well, that in theory should have been there along with a couple of lights, and I think, anyway, this definitely wasn't the one. And like I said, it wasn't meant to come in this. It was supposed to be within its own little shipping container and in a nicer box, I'm presuming. Nothing special about the box. Now, it's been a couple of weeks or so because I've persisted with this. I thought I'm imagining things. For starters, another red flag were the instructions. I tried reading these instructions and they had nothing to do with this power bank. So I'm like, no, again, I'm still just going crazy, something wrong with me. I messaged the seller and said, hey, listen, what's the go with the instructions? Send me some instructions, please, because I can't make out what the LCD means. Like, sometimes the green light comes on when you're charging, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes on when you're charging something else, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like, what is going on? And they're like, oh, don't worry. And they gave me some crappy explanation that I couldn't really understand. But okay, they're just a seller. So I've used it, and a couple of times it's sort of, I'm using it and it's like 80% or something. It'll just go down, and I've looked over again at it and it's like around 50, 60%. And as far as I'm aware, within a couple of minutes, I've looked over again. This is a dead zero, not even 10 or 20%, just zero. So I'm like, no, I'm going crazy. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Is it me? Have I literally zoned out for an hour or so and it's just gone to zero? So I'm like, oh, it's still new. Maybe it still needs to, charge up a couple of times to be, who knows? Anyway, so I persisted. Charged it for hours, making sure it's fully charged, because when something hits 100%, it's still not actually fully charged 100%. You need to let it sit for a little bit. So, I know what I'm doing. Anyway, tonight, I'm like, apart from that, the weight's there, so it just doesn't make any sense. And tonight, I just sat there and I'm like, watching it charge away, I'm looking at it, and I've looked over, and I can't remember, honestly, I think it was like 55% or something. And I've literally looked away for maybe 30 seconds, a minute. We'll stretch it to 2 minutes, even 10 minutes if you want. Keep in mind, it's 50,000 milliamp thingo. And I've looked back and it's off. I'm like, I don't understand this, what? So I put the power on and it's literally zero. Like, it just, enough's enough. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, I'm going to look inside. Because I've seen, it's happened before to me with another product. I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, I looked up and saw some videos on these things when I was looking around to find what power banks to buy. So I was buying a good one. And like I said, I've known of some dodgy things before. And I've seen some, dodgy videos on dodgy power banks. And I thought I picked the right one. And again, like I said, I kind of made a mistake and got too carried away with trying to find the most reputable seller, the best price, and I lost track of the actual power bank itself. And because it looks the same, I ordered the wrong one. But anyway, it should still be what it is, so I was still happy and persisted. But yeah, tonight I said enough's enough. This isn't right, and I gone to ask my mate, hey, I need to borrow your flathead. I'm going to destroy this thing. I want to pull it apart and see what's going on. I'm not feeling right about it. Something's not right. It shouldn't be doing this. I'm not a first-time battery user, so to speak. And I've had power banks, and this is just odd. And they're like, you're crazy, how much you spend on that? And I'm like, it doesn't matter, it just doesn't feel right. Yes, it feels right, but it doesn't feel right. It's not working the way it should, and it shouldn't just drop from 50% to zero in a matter of seconds. And also with the charging, it's funny and dodgy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm like, no, I don't care. I'm going to crack it open and see what's going on. I understand it cost me decent money, but if nothing's wrong with it, well, I'll suffer with the little dimps and that. I'll be careful if I can. It's my paranoia. And they're like, well, I won't say that word, you're silly to do that, you shouldn't do it. And I'm like, well, guess what, I'm going to do it anyway. So I grabbed myself a couple of little tools and, we're still yet to use them. And I started popping it. As I've started popping it, for starters, I noticed something which I'll show you in a second. Secondly, once I've gotten to that point and I'm popping it, I'm like, hang on a minute. If I do find anything, this did still cost me 80, almost $100 here. I should record it because, one, it's not right. This manufacturer, whoever made this, should be put out of business or whatever. But two, I need proof, and hopefully I can at least get my money back because it's $80. But yeah, hopefully everything will be fine and there won't be any problems. I'll just glue it back together and so be it. It's still 50,000 milliamp battery bank and no, who cares? But as I'm cracking it open, I did have some difficulty. I haven't cracked it all open. You've seen as far as I've gotten because again, I wanted the video to show. Now, as I'm popping it open, where's the camera here? Where's the lens? I have noticed inside, and I hope you can see that without me peeling it open. There you go. You can see it right there. See that silver line? Hang on. I don't think I can do this, but it's like about here. This is silver. No jokes. But that's a metal plate. Now, I'm no genius, but I know for a fact they're not meant to have metal plates in them, and it's got a decent thickness there, so that would account for some of the weight. So I'm thinking, let's persist, crack her open, and see what we can find, and hopefully, I don't know whether hopefully it's good or hopefully it's bad, or And I'll try and not make this too long. And as you can see, it's still stuck down, I can't. And I was also paranoid that I might pop batteries or who knows. I can see it so well. Just wish I could get more light in there for you guys. But I'm pretty sure I'm right, and this is a dodgy battery. So I'm just gonna get into that. Because there's a metal plate in there. It's either a metal plate or weight. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna pop any batteries. Alright, time for show and tell. Let's take a look-see. Look at that. Look and listen to that. Even. I don't know, do I just break the plastic now, or what do I do? Stick this in there and see if I can feel another plate in there. I reckon that's the best thing. Looks like it goes down, but to be quite honest, I can almost guarantee you it is dodgy. And it only goes down halfway. How do I get down there nicely without puncturing any batteries? I don't know. But I will get this. And we will do this in one take, so people can't say, oh, well, you must have done that. It's definitely just floating in there. There's no way. Yeah, look, I mean, come on. Look at that. Can you see that? If that was all the way to the bottom, there's no way that'd be doing that. The batteries only come up to about here. And there's at least this much foam. And I'm betting another metal plate down there. There is dodgy. You don't want to, because I don't know if these cells catch fire and whatever with you know, once they've been punctured or air. But really, so far I could almost guarantee that that's the case. Oh. Oh. Look at that. Look at that. Nowhere near what it's meant to have in there. Very lucky that I didn't puncture that bottom battery because there is no metal plate on there. Can't really read anything, but that's definitely not 50,000 milliamps. You know, like this thing here, this one, which is like, and I know the cell comes right up to the walls because I have opened this one, not because I was suspicious, but because it was cracked and I need to fix it because it was dropped. This cell here is pretty much the size of this, minus the just little end part here. So much bigger than these little ones. And this one here is a 1000 milliamp. 1000? No, what was it again? 1000, 10,000, I can't remember. Yeah, it was a 1000 or a 10,000 milliamp, for example. So in reality, these little cells, there should be at least 5, and they should be at least this size, and that's definitely not what we have here. That's just shocking. I'm just trying to take this metal plate off, and hopefully I can see some info on the battery, because this other side didn't have much so I could read. Oh, there's nothing there. Well, that is not 50,000 milliamps. It's only half the container. And that'd be about right. So, not happy. I will be messaging the seller. And requesting my money back. I will give them a link to this video. If they... I'm not even, like, shipping it back's just ridiculous. Like, honestly, if they say you need to ship it back, I'm probably going to say, well, guess what? You want to pay for the shipping? I'll ship it back. Otherwise, I'm sure you have some in stock. After this video, if you still don't believe me, pull one apart yourselves, confirm it for yourselves, and complain to the seller, because 100% I'm not going to be the only one that ends up pulling this apart, because it's just not what it's meant to be at all. So depressing. Good money wasted for nothing. Like, okay, that'll do.